Welcome back. Mike Kemp here. I'm an Ironman athlete recovering from a broken neck and sternum cycling accident 3 months ago. Chasing Kona is this series. We're documenting my journey all the way from getting out of the hospital up until my Ironman Texas race next April. This trip is going to be focused on a Germany trip. In a few hours, I'm boarding to Munich, and I want to show you guys how I travel with my bike and as well as train over there. But I also wanted to show you, I'm trying to listen to what the audience is asking for. We get a lot of questions about the supplements I take, whether they are general lifestyle, whether they are athlete specific, or whether they are injury recovery specific. So I'm just going to spend the next few minutes going over each of those. For pills that I take, magnesium, super important. It's one of the most deficient ones for people worldwide. And I like magnesium glycinate. Helps me sleep most importantly, so I take it at night. Turmeric I take as a pill, mostly for inflammation. I think as a triathlete who's pushing my body and somebody who has a lot of injuries throughout my body, maintaining and reducing inflammation is super important. And then another big one is my omega-3 fatty acids. Fish oil, big one. I also use it in my diet with chia seeds. I like hemp seeds, flax seeds. I'll usually put these in a smoothie. Not only for heart health, but also for brain health. I took blood tests this year, and Alzheimer's runs in my family, and they're starting to learn that your diet has a lot to do with managing dementia and Alzheimer's. So me just trying to be preventative about that, I keep my omega-3 fatty acids really high. And then the other main one is vitamin D3, another one I think 80% of Americans at least are deficient, even if you're out in the sun. I like mine combined with K2. I take this as a dropper. Next biggest thing for me is electrolytes. Later in an episode, I'm going to be showing you through a sweat test that firstly, everybody is going through a different amount of sodium per hour when you are exercising. Also, it's different whether you are cycling or you're swimming or you're running. So you can put a patch on your arm and take a test. For me, in past tests, I burn up to 4,000 milligrams or micrograms of sodium per hour, which is on the very high end. I'm a heavy sweater. It's really good to know so that you know what sports you're doing, both pre, during, and post, what you should supplement with. I like Raw is a great company. I like the chocolate version because I have coffee in the morning, and first thing in the morning I really like to, because I've been starving myself for 8 hours while sleeping, I really like to have electrolytes right away, either through electrolytes or I'll also use a Baja salt. You can put this in a lemon water first thing in the morning. BPN also does electrolytes. It's a local company here in Austin. Really like their products. Also, as an athlete, really important things along with the electrolytes are carbs, as I'm sure many of you know, but I think a lot of people still under fuel, and that's something I learned in my first year of training, is how important it is pre, during, and post. Again, for gels, I like BPN's Go Gels. They are more natural, even though some of these are processed foods. They have minimal ingredients and seems to give me energy. I'll do this every few miles while I'm running. Also before a swim session. They've also got Go Bars, which I really like. It's an oat bar, just allows me to maybe 30 to 45 minutes before a run or a cycle, just give me some extra energy and get something in my body. And then Goo is also a company that makes some with caffeine. Pretty good flavor. I like the vanilla bean. And then if you want something a little bit more just pure, Roan does supercharged honey, and it's just got raw honey, lion's mane, and pink salt. Also through BPN, just because I don't have too many vegetables all of the time, I'll add in some powders of reds and greens. I'm not saying or suggesting that you should only have these instead of vegetables. I'm just trying to meet my requirements. Raw also makes electrolytes that also have carbs or sugars in them. I like that they do an unflavored one as well, because sometimes in your water bottle for a race, for example, I might have 120 to 140 grams per hour, and that's a lot to put in a single bottle. And if you don't want the flavor to be too high, you can do 1 scoop or 2 scoops unflavored and 2 scoops flavored. And BPN also has one, G1M Sport Plus. This one has a lot of caffeine, 150 milligrams in a scoop. So I'm pretty sensitive to caffeine, so I might have a little less of that one. They also add nootropics to it. For the pills I was talking about, one thing I like to do, especially when I'm traveling, like to Germany, instead of having to take all of these bottles with me, I have 2 different pill dispensers. One of them is like this, with a screw at the top. Makes it really easy just to throw in up to a few weeks of everything. And I can also do it, this might make me look like a grandpa, but I can put up to a month every single day in something like this. Of course, I take creatine, again, for cognitive and brain health. I used to take 5 milligrams a day, but now I actually take up to 20 milligrams because I've been told, and the research is coming out, that it's really good for you cognitively, not just for supplying your muscles with a bunch of water, but also helping your brain. And then just wanted to throw in a protein powder on this one. Of course, I've got lots of different ones. I just put the boba tea protein one because I love boba tea, and it's a way to have a more healthy version than going to the store and getting boba tea. It doesn't have the tapioca in it, but what I do like is it's got minimal ingredients, just 100% verified grass-fed whey protein isolate, some taro powder, some purple sweet potato, and monk fruit extracts. So just a way to get in the protein. For me, I'm trying to get in about 220, 230 grams of protein per day. And then I just wanted to talk a little bit specific to injury recovery. I know some people are a little bit intimidated by taking peptides because you have to inject them subcutaneously or somewhere else in your body. But I just wanted to help you understand it's really not, doesn't have to be that scary of a process. I'll just take an insulin needle. The 2 I take, one is called sermorelin, the other is called a Wolverine stack that has both BPC 157, which is great for recovery from an injury, as well as TB 500. Do some research if you're not familiar with these terms. I've done a lot of research and tried a bunch, and these were the best for me. But you just draw out enough each day, or for me, I do it in the evening before sleep, a few hours after I've eaten, so that your insulin isn't getting in the way of your body's reception. And then I'll just go in a bit of my belly fat, put it in at a 45-degree angle. So for those of you who don't like needles, it's actually something you can get used to pretty easily. And the other thing that I'm taking is Livewire has this thing called X39. It's a patch you might be able to see on the back. You might be able to see on the back of my neck. Apparently, after you're 30 years old, half of your stem cells lie dormant in your body. And that's one of the reasons as you're getting older, you're not recovering as quickly. Your stem cells are supposed to, these unidentified cells that go to the site of an injury and repair and rebuild everything from tissue, muscle. They even talked about maybe even cartilage. So this is a newer product that I'm trying out. Basically, you put it on for 12 hours and it's supposed to wake up those dormant cells in your body, those stem cells, and send them straight to work. So yeah, those are basically all of the things that I like to take. It might look like a lot, but broken down, I'm only having a few of them daily. Really easy to travel with. Some people think, oh, it might be too many powder or pills, but you can either do it in bags or just take a bottle, just enough for what you need. After this, I'm just gonna finish packing and get ready for Germany. I'm going without my videographer, Pablo, so apologies in advance if I don't have the best shots. I'm taking my iPhone and gonna try without a microphone, and we'll just see what kind of shots we do, but I'm excited to take you on the road with me. We're outside of Austin Tricyclist, which is my bike shop. I want to show you guys how we pack a bike into a box that can go on an international flight. I'm really excited to get to Germany and show you guys how we train while we're traveling. Just because I'm going on holiday, I'm 7 months out from my race, Ironman, Texas, where I'm going to try to qualify for Kona. So that doesn't mean I can take 12 days off. Really excited to get out there and train. this is an Allen box. I will say it's pretty expensive. It is a hard case. It's from England. I made a mistake of using a soft bag last time I traveled to South Africa for my race. Fortunately, the problems were on the way back, not on the way there, so I was able to race with the bike. But on the way back, the soft bag got caught onto the belt at the terminal and completely ripped it apart and damaged everything. So my bike is, this one's worth $8,000. My racing bike is $10,000. I'm not gonna risk having it in a soft bag. The nice thing about this, I fly with United and I get 3 bags international, up to 70 pounds. So this one, even though the dimensions are pretty large, actually count as checked baggage. So I'm not paying anything oversized or for sports equipment. It just counts as a regular checked baggage. Guys, back with Gabe Porterfield. You remember him from episode 6 when we cycled together. He's a mechanic in this shop. So this is my Aspero 5 gravel bike. This is the one I'm going to be taking to Germany because from the neck injury, my back and neck aren't good enough to get down in the aero position.
How was it the other day? You rode the aero bike?
Yeah, I tested it out for a little bit, but it's good for 30 minutes or an hour, but definitely not too much training. It's just too much to hold up my neck.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think this is the good call for bringing this to Munich. Gabe's just going to show us for the box what we need to disassemble and then what I'll need to reassemble back in Germany. Can you just talk about what needs to go off?
Yeah, so it's not too bad. Taking the wheels off, he's got a pretty nice box there. So all you really got to take off is the wheels and the pedals, and like you can handle that in like a hotel room or whatever else. So yeah.
And the handlebars should fit?
The handlebars should fit. We'll see. They're pretty wide. We'll just like throw it in the box and see what happens.
Okay.
But if they end up coming off, it's not a big deal. It's just 4 more bolts and a little more hassle.
And then it just puts it to the side.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. I'll just kind of like strap it here.
Okay, cool.
So we'll see what happens.
And there's also a few parts that we might want to put a little bubble wrap around or anything.
Yeah, I'm gonna take this off and then wrap that, because like this component's like $500, you know what I mean? And it's kind of sticking out, so that's the one thing I always like to take it off. And actually, UPS or bike flights, they won't even insure bikes if the derailleur is on the hanger, because it's like, now they're $1,000. Some of these are like Shimano's, it's like $1,000 because the whole brain is back here.
Yeah, so this one is brand new. We just got it put on yesterday.
Yeah.
That was $415.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I thought from the accident that my bike, I was the only thing that got injured and the bike was fine. But when we took a deeper look at it, I wasn't shifting right. So Rami just put that on, and that's $415.
Yeah,
so that's up quickly.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, he's gonna remove this, and just for protection, and also this bike is still under warranty. So if anything happens, I can claim it to Cervelo. This is a great shop to take Cervelos. I've got 3 Cervelo bikes, and you guys specialize in taking care of Cervelos.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's like our bread and butter. We're actually the oldest Cervelo dealer in America.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's like maybe like 35 years or something like that.
Cool.
And then, have you messed with these much?
No.
I was gonna say there's one thing when you're going to put it back on. You see this like little point here, this little stop.
Yeah.
You see that stop? You just need to make sure that it's above it, because like if it's below it or it's too high up, it'll be like a problem. So just make sure that they're kind of like close to each other. And then like I'll usually like shift this all the way down, so it's like its smallest, right? Oh man, I got excited with the camera here. Wrap it with something like this is kind of messy, but you have to wrap I just do what comes natural. And I feel like this happens every time, but like I'll like spend, maybe a little extra time packing the bike up when I'm going to an event, right? And just like really make it all nice and safe, because it's like, it's super protected right there. Mm-hmm. And then on the way back, I'm just like throwing it back in the case, but yeah.
But that's a good point to put it in between, because then the carbon fiber is just protected already.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or at least
Stressed
I'll also put some, because it's so light and it's actually not being weighed. This weighs nothing right now. I'll also take my helmet, my cleats, even some extra supplements that I'm gonna bring that I don't want to put in my regular bags. I just toss them in there too.
They don't know, man.
Yeah, exactly. They're not gonna open it up, but that's it. That's how you throw it in. Since I'm a beginner and I'm not that comfortable putting all the pieces back together, somebody who's got a bit of experience with their bike, I'm sure would be able to do that in the hotel room. For me personally, especially someone who's been injured recently, I prefer to just know that someone at the shop in Munich is going to be able to do it in 10-15 minutes for me. I'll pay them a bit of money and I'll be set to go.
Yeah, like we're saying, with no stand and stuff in a hotel room with like a three-way, dude, it's better than just taking it to a shop.
Yeah, I'd rather just let the professionals do their job. Thanks, man. Appreciate you.
For sure, brother.
See you for the 200-mile race in a couple weeks.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Sevo's from Germany. I'm in the southern tip of Bavaria, just south of Munich. As you can see, this time of year, mid-October, with the color changing of the leaves, just an unbelievable time. The weather's about 50 degrees Fahrenheit, which in my opinion is perfect to cycle in. I just finished 80 kilometers, which is about 51 miles, big loop south. Once you get, first of all, downtown is very safe. Tons of cyclists here, nice bike lanes, the drivers are paying attention. And also once you get out south, it's bike path mostly, only alongside the roads, super safe. There are even bike shops along the way in case anything happens. And yeah, I wanted to talk about discipline today, and maybe not in the way that you think. For me, for my first year of cycling and my first Ironman training block, my coach was making a training plan and put rides every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, swims every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and runs 4 to 5 times a week sprinkled in between. I remember I would stick to it religiously, so regimented. If I ever missed a workout, which is maybe once or twice, I got down on myself. I thought, oh man, the world's coming to an end. I was so stuck to the program. And I'm not saying, especially as a new cyclist, triathlete, that's necessarily a bad thing, but the freedom I've given myself this go round of more so just listening to my body and understanding there's a difference between being hurt and being injured has really unlocked a new level for me. And I say that because I got off the plane last week in Munich, and my expectations of myself were to cycle almost every day, really enjoy being in this new environment. And as I'm coming up on, as of today, we're 6 months away from the race, I was starting to feel a little pressure to, okay, I need to get locked in. But from my experience, there was jet lag. I have been underslept since I've been working so hard physically in the past few months. My body just started telling me, you're on holiday, you need to rest, you need to relax. And this other version of myself creeped in and trying to say, oh no, but we're not going to be ready for the race. But the truth of it is, I just got back on the bike after taking a week off. I didn't lose any fitness. My legs felt really fresh, and I had one of the best rides of my life. Not only is Munich one of the most beautiful places to ride, I just gave myself that time to relax and just focus on other important things. And now I feel like I'm more ready than ever to dive back into it. So it was a limiting idea of me that discipline means being committed or being consistent, because you'll hear those terms a lot in triathlon. While yeah, those are important, There also needs to be a discipline to knowing when to say no and knowing when to listen to your body. And I'm really happy that I've arrived at that moment. I also wanted to mention how happy I am to have my own bike out here in Germany. One, it's safer because I know how my bike handles better than one that I might rent, all the technicalities, and also the nostalgia of just having my own bike here with me. It's been pretty awesome. This thing's been around Spain, Italy, Africa, California, and now gets to travel with me here. You just build a special connection with it. United makes it super easy as well. It doesn't count as anything other than checked baggage. So a lot of cyclists I know like to use that airline. And yeah, this has just been a really incredible week. Like I said, it's slightly different than I anticipated. The training volume has gone down, but my motivation for the sport and triathlon and my excitement to get after the builds when I get back to Austin. I'm heading to the plane in a few hours here and just can't wait to get started on this journey.